There's always a moment before everything changes. It's quiet, almost forgettable. A breath before movement, a hesitation before the unknown. You stand there, at the edge of something you can't name, feeling both the pull of what could be and the weight of what is. Your mind whispers 1,000 reasons to stay where it's safe. Not yet, it says. Maybe tomorrow. But something deeper hums beneath that fear. A strange, restless ache that says, now. It's the tension between comfort and calling. Between what you know and what you secretly crave. The heart knows before the body moves. And maybe that trembling you feel isn't weakness at all. Maybe it's the sound of your life preparing to shift. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right time. That one day the stars will align and courage will finally arrive dressed in certainty. But time doesn't wait, it watches. And while you stand still, it whispers through everything that passes you by. The job you didn't take, the apology you didn't make, the version of you that keeps fading in the rearview mirror. Stillness begins to feel like peace, but it isn't. It's fear pretending to be patience. You tell yourself you're being smart, cautious, logical, but deep down you know you're just afraid. Waiting is safe because it doesn't demand you to change. Yet with every day that passes, your waiting starts to cost you more than your fear ever could. A voice echoes. A memory of someone once saying, "You don't need perfect timing, just courage." You never forgot that sentence, even if you never lived it. Fear doesn't stop you from moving forward. It disguises itself as logic. It whispers in elegant tones, warning you about all the things that could go wrong. It paints the world as dangerous and you as fragile. But here's the truth you rarely admit. Fear isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to protect you. It remembers every time you fell, every rejection, every heartbreak, and it believes its job is to keep you safe from that pain. So it builds invisible walls around your potential, and you mistake those walls for reality. What if I fail, you ask? And somewhere inside, courage replies, what if you don't? That single question starts to fracture the illusion. Because the monsters on your path aren't real. They're shadows of your own doubt, projected by an overprotective mind. When you realize that fear begins to lose its shape, it's still there but softer now, something you can walk beside instead of run from. The first step doesn't look like a revolution. It looks small, almost insignificant. No one claps, no one notices. But in that tiny movement, the entire direction of your life shifts. You whisper to yourself, just one step, that's all. And somehow that's enough. It's clumsy, imperfect, uncertain, but it's movement. And movement is everything. Because once you start, you're no longer trapped in imagination. You're in motion, alive, in contact with the raw texture of reality again. There's fear, yes, but also something else. Relief. Relief that you're finally doing something about the thing that's been haunting you. The step is quiet, but inside it roars. And somewhere between hesitation and action, you begin to change. Then something strange happens. Momentum finds you. What once felt impossible begins to flow. Life, which seemed to resist you, now begins to respond. Doors you never saw before start to open, and the world feels less like an enemy and more like a mirror, reflecting back the courage you've shown it. You start to see how fear was never the obstacle. Inaction was. The universe doesn't demand that you leap. It just waits for you to move first. With each step, the noise inside your head quiets. The doubts lose their authority. You begin to trust the rhythm of progress. See? A voice inside smiles. It was never as hard as you thought. You realize now that courage isn't something you find. It's something you build, step by trembling step. And after the noise of fear fades, something softer takes its place. Peace. Not the peace of everything being perfect, but the peace of knowing you faced what terrified you and walked through it anyway. You breathe deeper now. The air feels lighter. The world looks the same, but it feels different because you've changed. You don't need control anymore. You don't need guarantees. You've learned that clarity doesn't come before movement. It comes after. Fear used to own your silence, but now silence feels sacred. You whisper to yourself, "You did it," and the words don't feel small. They feel like a beginning. Looking back, you realize it was never about the step. It was about who you became after taking it. Every great change in life starts quietly, not with fireworks, but with a breath, a choice, a moment of defiance against fear. You start to understand that destiny isn't found in grand decisions, but in small acts of courage repeated daily. And somewhere, someone just like you is standing at their own edge, hesitating, waiting for a sign. Maybe this story is that sign. Maybe this is their moment before movement. So you look at them, through the screen, through time, through everything you've learned, and say, now, it's your turn, because one step, just one, can change everything. And maybe, just maybe, this is the one you've been waiting to take.